Hello and welcome to Podium Star. Thank you everyone who is here today. Hopefully you can hear me okay, the audio is good. If there's any problems, just let us know in the chat. First of all, this is the SaaS edition, all right? We've got people coming from Asia, Europe, North and South America. I just checked. So thank you to everyone who's coming from all around the world. We really appreciate it. First, let me tell you a little bit about Podium Star. We started last year in 2019, and we had over 10 events. We helped over 50 startups, and it was really, really fun. What it does is we basically scout the startups, we look for amazing teams, we help them, we coach them on their messaging and their pitching skills, and then we connect them to great people like you in the audience. You might just be interested in startups, you might be an investor or an accelerator, and all of you are really important, and we're so glad that you're here today. So let me tell you how it's going to run today, all right? We're going to start with a panel discussion with our judges in just a few minutes, and then we go straight into the pitches, okay? So what happens is, before the pitch, there will be a 1-minute introduction video from each startup. That's a founder video. We call it Vision 60, where you'll hear about the vision of each startup founder and why they started their company. After that, the pitches will automatically start, and they'll go in quick succession. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There's no breaks in between. Of course, there is a Q&A session. All right. So please be aware that this is a new platform. So there might be some quirks, some interesting things happening, some delays. Please just bear with us and everything like that. If there is a downtime, just wait. Stay on the page. Don't click out. We're still here. Okay. So if anything happens, stay on the page. And I'd also like to say a quick thanks to AirMeet. They've been very, very helpful helping us with this. So all of you from AirMeet, thank you, and we hope to do more events together. All right, so let me introduce the teams today. First, we have Roberus. Pitching is DH Kim, CEO. Then we have MobiDo, and the CEO is David Lee. Ion Communications is being pitched by Sungmin Lee, who is their IR manager. And we also have Imago Works, CEO Youngjun Kevin Kim. Then there's Paywork by CEO Jean Son. And finally, Business Canvas, being pitched by CEO Andy Kim. By the way, we used to have audience voting, and this time we weren't able to make it work. So sorry about that, but next time we hope to do it. And so now we're going to get started with our panel discussion. So thanks for this, bearing with me for this long introduction. But time for the panel, so I'm going to go off the stage real quick, and I'll see you on a different camera in about 10 seconds. If the judges can go ahead and appear on screen, you can turn on your cameras and your mics. Thank you all for joining. We're just waiting for Axel to join. Thanks. So you guys can ignore the PowerPT logo up there. That's just our host. So real quick, before I introduce all of you, Tom is coming in. All right, we'll give you, there we go. Before I introduce all of you, I want to first give a quick word to Axel, who's our partner at the World Innovations Forum. Axel, the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you very much, Jonathan. And welcome also from our side. It's amazing to be part of this. And I just remember when we were in South Korea for the first time 3 years ago, we saw this amazing momentum of getting startups up, and a huge moment where we realized that there's some of the most modern startup hubs in the world, actually. Today, 3 years later, I think we're actually working on a study who will be sort of the biggest startup camps in the world next year. And we're seeing that probably Seoul and South Korea will be actually top of the world in terms of startup support energy and everything that's happening. So we're very proud to be part of it. The World Innovations Forum, just a second, we're 100% groundbreaking innovation. That's our entire focus. Not improvement, not a little bit of engineering, but groundbreaking innovation. And we're helping teams to achieve it. We have an Innovation Academy with a certification program and an accelerator program where we help teams to go forward. We have a new launching in 2021, innovation financing. The ICN network consists of about 900 investors with about $1 billion in investment capital for startups. Well, that's probably the biggest number ever for the startup range. And what I should announce here, I guess, is that the winner of this contest will be amongst the first 3 we will actually announce. And the big thing about that is we will put this into the announcement press release. So you get quite an extra boost of publicity around the world. So if you're ready to rock and get your products out, well, that's a good point. You will also get a 1-year membership for free and 2 times 2 hours mentorship from Marita and myself, helping you on the traction side and also on the growing your company side. And again, thank you so much for having me here.
Great.
Back to Jonathan.
Thank you, Axel, for that. All right. So let me introduce the other judges real quick. You guys can just raise your hands when I say your name. So we've got Trevor Owens, founder of the Lean Startup Machine. We've got Tom Douglas, entrepreneur in residence at Fuel Accelerator. We've got Jeff Amrine, managing director at Cadron Capital Partners. Louis Diesel, head of Asia at Startup Junkie. And already, again, Axel Schulze, chairman of the World Innovations Forum. So Axel is joining from Switzerland, where it's, a decent time, morning. Louis and Trevor are both here in Seoul. But Tom and Jeff, thank you guys. It's 3 a.m. where you are. I cannot,
Amazing.
I don't know if I would do this, but I'm so thankful that you joined. I hope you got some sleep already or that you'll have a slow day tomorrow. So thanks again for joining, guys. So let's get started. So many people in Korea really don't know what SaaS is. It's not really a huge, hot, industry over here. People are into AI, they're into biotech, all sorts of other industries, but it's really growing here. So I just want to talk a little bit about what SaaS is. So for the people who don't know, software as a service, I'd like to ask you guys, what are some cool examples of SaaS startups where you are or that you have worked with? Anybody can go.
Well, maybe I start. So we started the second SaaS company in the world in 1999, I believe. Blue Roads. It was we were one of the very early players, and ever since I have been in this what we also call cloud business now. I think SaaS is and cloud is almost interchangeable on building a new platform, and it has revolutionized the software industry. I mean, fundamentally. And I think the big driver was Mark Benioff when he announced no more software. And even though it's software, but it was so brutally, in somebody's face. So it's an amazing ride. And yeah, it's certainly the future. I mean, on-premise software is, I would say, dead.
Okay. Jeff, you were going to say something as well.
Yeah, I'll add a little bit of context to that. So the advantage of being a mature and seasoned founder in the startup world is you remember when a lot of this stuff started. So seeing the transition from classic kind of client server premise-based stuff, I watched one of the early entrants that at the time was called an application service provider, US Internetworking. It was based in Annapolis, Maryland, get started right around late 1990s, and the network was the big limiter then. There wasn't broadband and high-speed network, so it didn't work as well as you might expect. But now we're seeing a lot of really cool stuff. We've got one in our portfolio called Teslar, which is essentially an ERP for banking, it's a fintech play, and it works extremely well in taking a somewhat backward segment of community banking and providing them a whole variety of subscription-based solutions that are very easy to use and are really changing the way banking gets done in terms of efficiency. So yeah, it's it's a great time to be looking at SaaS solutions.
Great.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because I think post-COVID, because of things like social distancing and subscription models going up, I think you're going to see a lot of lower tech industries expand into SaaS markets. I also think that the automation of the supply chain through SaaS models is going to be really impactful coming in the next 8 to 12 months.
Yeah, just to add on that, obviously the big growth in SaaS companies, you have all your super large players like Shopify and Stripe and all those guys. But what that allows, I think, the early stage SaaS companies to do is it provides a higher kind of competition ceiling where those unicorn companies aren't looking at the startups as competition. They're looking at Microsoft and those guys as their largest competition. And so as a SaaS startup going into the marketplace, you kind of have a little bit of a larger playing field. And if you just find your niche, I think that it allows a lot of SaaS companies to be a little bit more successful than they would be maybe 10 years ago. I think right now it's the best time.
Yeah, I think SaaS is about to explode in Asia. Specifically, the last 2 years ago, I started investing in SaaS in China, because in China they say that SaaS software tends to hit a tipping point based on the GDP per capita. And China's right at that point where the GDP per capita is hitting that inflection point where it's no longer going to be cheaper just to keep adding more employees to solve a problem, but actually caring about employee productivity in the enterprise specifically can lead to better gains for the enterprises. So that's the tipping point in China. One of the things that's interesting about China, and I don't think it's an issue in Korea, but the payment system in China is dominated by WeChat and Alipay, and there's no subscription billing for consumer or small business SaaS in China because WeChat and Alipay don't allow recurring payments. And so we actually invested in a SaaS company that had a solution where it would allow you to automatically be notified every month to top up your account to sort of simulate the SaaS like subscription billing in China. And that was a very interesting company that got interviewed by Y Combinator. The founders eventually had a falling out, so they didn't take it further than that. But SaaS is at a very big tipping point in Asia, and coming from the US, SaaS is just everywhere. It's ubiquitous. It was interesting to me when I was asked to define SaaS software, that part of the definition is based on cloud. And as the other judges talked about, Mark Benioff popularizing cloud, but being a little, depending on the age of the people in the audience, some people might not even remember that software wasn't in the cloud before. So, I really think about SaaS particularly as being subscription oriented. There's specific metrics that are standardized in the industry, CAC, customer acquisition cost, lifetime value, LTV, average price per customer. There's a whole suite of these metrics that are very standardized. And that's the compelling thing about SaaS, is that I find it much more systematic and easy to build a SaaS business than almost any other business model, because of how well known those metrics have become and how you can estimate really the health of any SaaS business based on industry standards.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for all of you guys giving some ideas on those. Now, as far as Korea, there's not too many famous SaaS startups, I think, that are well known. However, the most well known personally that I know is SendBird. I'm not sure if you've heard of it before. They went through YC and Techstars several years ago, and they're an in-app chat and messaging service provider for businesses. So that's one that I know offhand. Now, as far as your local areas, we've got, especially back in Arkansas and Switzerland or general Europe, are there any trends that you guys are noticing with SaaS? Is it really growing like it is in Korea suddenly from nothing to something, or has it already been around for a while? Or any other kind of trends that you guys are noticing?
Maybe, the one trend is an early trend, so even though it is an old paradigm.
There's a lot of discussion relative to product positioning. Okay. There's a lot of discussion.
I think there's a delay. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
That's okay.
artificial intelligence. And I think that's where you see a lot of the newer companies and the newer possibilities coming up is artificial intelligence in the U.S. right now. There's a lot of financial that maybe Jeff can speak to. But I think those are the trends that I'm starting to see. Customer centricity relative to that is also a trend I'm starting to see as well.
All right. Axel, you were mentioning something as well.
Yeah, so I see a sort of an early trend, but a huge opportunity in Asia is what was a dream actually back in the days when SaaS started, is industry peer group data and industry peer group comparison. I mean, with all the data protection, all the data security, I mean, we basically killed ourselves. There's almost no way to do that. Even though that is something we realize there's a huge demand on getting peer group data across industries. And we're just building a new innovation management platform. And so we realized in Asia, we don't have all these privacy and security BS, I have to say, because I mean, it's good to protect people, no question, but people who don't want to protect it basically cannot even say, well, I don't care. Anyway, if we learn from other industries or from other players within an industry, in this case, how innovation is actually performed, time to innovate, the time of resources, the money invested pre-innovation. I mean, all these data points, we can learn from each other so much more and so much faster. And that is only possible with a SaaS application. It would never be a realization on premise or anything else. So the cloud will give us information where we can learn things that we could never learn otherwise. So I think that's a big movement.
Just to give you one that's to add on that's kind of interesting is with the rise of automation and with autonomous systems, like was the case 15 or 20 years ago with enterprise application layers and all these disparate things that you tried to figure out how to integrate into the enterprise. We're seeing cool SaaS-based software solutions like Unmanned Life, which is effectively, it's kind of a glue logic for all the autonomous devices and systems that you want to interconnect to the enterprise. They were in our Fuel Accelerator in the last cohort. And so if you have intelligent carts, you have intelligent warehouse systems, you have drones, this company is that integration layer that makes it all possible. And rather than it having to be hosted behind the firewall of the enterprise, it can essentially exist in the cloud, which gives lots and lots of flexibility. The challenges with some of that we're seeing within SaaS is making sure there's compliance to cybersecurity standards that some of these large enterprises have. I mean, that's, I think, an ongoing challenge. But yeah, it's a lot of pretty cool stuff where as the hardware capabilities come and go within that autonomous space, being able to have a software platform for integration that sits in the cloud, that's subscription based is going to be pretty powerful.
I want to chime in real quick. By the way, for everyone in the audience, there's this little smiley face button at the bottom that says reactions. You can click that and there's a thumbs up. You see that on your screen? So at any moment, if you guys want to give a clap, some hearts, anything, feel free to do that to show if you agree with something or you appreciate something. I think that's a pretty cool feature right there. So it makes it a little bit interactive.
There's no thumbs down.
Yeah, it's a very positive platform.
Okay.
All right. All right, and Marita, who's asking who can share the YouTube link, I will try to find that link and share it. So I'll look into that. My next question, or is anyone else wanted to mention anything about trends?
I mean, rather than trends, just kind of general and global observation. It was interesting to see as we kind of did this. We're currently doing a testbed program where we recruit Korean startups to test them into the U.S. market, and some of the challenges were these were really, really amazing technologies that were already launched in Korea, but dealing with the legal issues and the cybersecurity hurdles and just the different statutes per state in like a U.S. system, for example. That was just something that you wouldn't really necessarily think of here in Asia. It's kind of just everything is standardized. I think it was interesting just to see that was just another layer that you really, really, truly have to consider. I mean, obviously, a really mainstream large example is TikTok, right? But just to kind of as an observation, that was something that was a learning experience for me personally.
What do you guys think about how COVID-19 has changed anything? I mean, many startups obviously are struggling right now. Many companies around the world are struggling. But do you think SaaS startups are a bit more safe just because they're on the cloud? For many of them are, relying on cloud services. Do you think they're a bit safer than other startups? Why or why not?
I think that recently a lot of SaaS companies have had tremendous growth during COVID because even when it comes to just signing documents, there's a couple companies that I saw that they are just involved in signing documents. And right now during COVID, everybody has to sign documents online. They can't, go in person to get something notarized, or, it's a risk to go in person to do signing documents. So a lot of SaaS services, educational software, which I'm involved in, there's a huge push to have everything online. So some industries have benefited huge, and probably others have benefited or have been crushed, maybe because if they're in a restaurant industry, maybe if they're doing SaaS software for restaurants, it wouldn't be a very good time. COVID wouldn't be very helpful. But I would say by and large, the market has grown a lot over the year.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think everything is going online. I think there's the digitization of entertainment as we move forward is going to be really, really interesting. I mean, gaming right now is huge, but if you start thinking about the music industry, even movies, etc., how that gets digitized and how that is served up is going to be really, really interesting and important. I think it's going to be a competition-rich environment. So when you talk about company stability, I think you're going to have to be on top of your game, simply because I think the best is going to rise, and the key features that you can keep stable through growth and the use of the data that you gather and how you use it effectively is going to be really, really important to the success and stability of the business that you're in.
I think, we see it on many digital platforms. Don't even need to name any. They're quadrupled their user base and so on. And now there's some companies will say, oh yeah, COVID will go away and then we're back to normal. And I think that is one of the biggest mistake people can do, because once you basically enjoy and or realize the growth and efficiency through digital engagement, and we did a little study. We're just into it, but we realized that because of the fact that we are not meeting people like we did before, our senses start to realize, okay, this other human on this glass screen is actually my only way to communicate, and it's also my only way to negotiate. And actually, it becomes a new way of sensitivity. It's not only I can't work with this guy through a screen. Well, we can, because actually this guy on the screen is no different than if I would sit in front of somebody. We're just not used to it. But when we get used to it, and when we realize, okay, whether it's a CRM system with a video interface and so on, we realize one visit cost us 3 hours, 1 hour travel, 1 hour visit, 1 hour travel. We cut the efficiency down to a third, and that will not go back. Yes, we will still need to meet people in person, but SaaS and the whole cloud business will give us access to things worldwide that is unparalleled compared to the past. When we started our initiatives in Asia, we took basically 1 year preparation. We started our initiatives in Africa this year. it took us 2 months of preparation. And after 4 months, we were basically at the same stage that it took 2 years in Asia. But this has nothing to do with us or Africa or Asia. This has simply to do with, well, digital was the only way to connect. And so this goes through all kinds of areas. And so the long tail of SaaS and cloud-based business is huge. I mean, we will probably not comprehend it right now, what it actually means over the next couple of years.
All right, guys, I know there's so much more we could talk about. Unfortunately, we have to keep going with the pitches. It's already past 5:30. So thank you all for joining. We'll be hearing more from the judges during the Q&A sessions. In the meantime, I'll ask you guys to mute and turn off your video just to keep the bandwidth, easy. There we go. Thanks, guys. Guys, we're ready to start the pitching session. So that's going to happen very soon. Just bear with us 1 minute as we work this out.
Hi, I'm DH Kim, CEO of Robotus, and we are putting computer vision to work on retail and food service using AI and face recognition. Nowadays, AI and face recognition are controversial technologies, but throughout the history, there has always resistance to new technologies. For example, AI was theorized in the 1950s, but the aha moment didn't come until 2016 with AlphaGo. And since that time, we've seen rapid advances in machine learning and now deep learning. Startups always face challenges, but I believe that startups should change the world by pushing disruptive technologies forward. At the same time, startups should act responsibly. At Robotus, we're proud to be advancing computer vision technologies to improve customer service and helping existing staff work more effectively.
Hi, I'm DH Kim from Robotus. We are an AI company putting computer vision to work in retail, food service, and beyond. We started out a few years ago with Poka, our smart ordering robot based on face recognition. It recognizes customers and makes smart recommendations that increase restaurant sales up to 15%. Now, Poka and Poka Vision are in restaurants around the world, including American Dairy in the United States and Southside Parlor right here in Seoul. We've also made great headway in the retail space, providing Poka Vision, our face recognition technology and software to point-of-sale companies like Clover, and complete systems to retail giants like 7-Eleven. But what I really want to talk to you about today is the next step in the evolution of using automation to improve customer service and companies' bottom line, the complete smart restaurant system. We are combining all of our knowledge from years of working with food service companies to solve some very real problems that have been made worse by COVID-19. Let me walk through our smart restaurant concept. It starts with a face recognition kiosk connected to a thermal camera at the front door. This ensures that only people who are healthy and authorized to enter can come in. This same technology can also be used at sporting events and other ticketed events. Inside our smart ordering system, which help people make better decisions faster based on past behavior and external factors like weather. Our patent table management system connected to an IP camera can monitor how many tables are occupied and which one need to be cleaned, making things easier for staff. All of this is possible with our data analytics backend and online dashboard, and tracks important data and provides access to the real-time analytics. We already have several Korean restaurant chains interested in our smart restaurant concept, and based on our advanced conversations, we believe we can capture around $3 million from this next year, growing that to $80 million annually by 2024. This system can pay for itself in 5 to 6 months based on increased sales of higher margin menu items and as well as staffing optimizations. The same technology works in other areas as well, like elder care. We are in talks with the board of the Korea Assisted Living Association to provide smart robot that will give residents secure, face-based access to their schedule and personalized entertainment, as well as mandatory twice daily temperature checks. We've also recently signed a contract with the Korean Ministry of Administration and Security to provide civil servants with instant, face-based map of government offices when they are working remotely across the country. We are a Techstar graduate, and the Epicenter Accelerator in Sweden recently named us one of the top 10 AI startups in Korea and is connecting us to H&M and other European companies. And also, we were selected yesterday by Render Capital in Kentucky State for targeting KFC. We are looking for partners and investors who truly understand the enormous potential of AI, food service, and retail. 7-Eleven knows it, Clover gets it, companies across Asia get it. Who wants to help us bring robotics technology to the world? Thank you.
So really great job. So my question is, when you're looking into your future, I mean, 3 million in revenue next year, can you handle that with current revenues and cost, or do you need to raise a bigger round and go all the way full speed into the next couple of years? And if so, what would be the round size? I mean, I think we can talk about this here in this audience. Any?
There was some howling echo. So my understanding is your question is to what is the investment round.
Yeah, correct.
So this is Series A, and we want $1.5 million for Series A at the moment, and the valuation is now $10 million.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, DH. How are you doing? Good to see you again. Just a general question. So, with obviously COVID using is being kind of in your favor, right? As it's contactless and things like that. But how do you plan to establish your launch strategy, overseas and cross border? How with COVID and that kind of and those logistic hurdles and things like that.
It's a very bad howling, but it's a kind of a 10 seconds delay. But anyway, I understood that our strategy, how to access the market.
Are you guys able to hear?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we're live. I think it's there. That's the delay.
I think there's just an audio problem, but okay. Hopefully that answers. I stick to very short questions that require short answers because of this technical issue.
Okay.
Luis, can you say again, please?
Yeah. So your product, your solution is COVID friendly. It is complementary to the COVID virus. However, when you're trying to launch overseas and you're going cross border, how do you cope with that? And what is your launch strategy? Your cross border launch strategy with COVID?
Yeah, that's a good question. We have our U.S. entity in New Jersey right now. As I mentioned at the last part of the presentation, we were selected by the Render Capital in Kentucky. Then they required my partner, his name is John Kim, to be stayed in 1 year in Kentucky to move our address. That's one of the way to approach the U.S. market first, and in parallel, in Korea, one of the government department, the KISSET, we were selected for the Sweden program. Then Epicenter, they are accelerating and also promoting our product because we are sending our live demo system to Stockholm next week. That's the way of approach using the government and using our U.S. entity. That's the approach the overseas customers at the moment.
Okay, thank you very much.
There's a variety of privacy laws that will impede you over the next implementation process that you have. How flexible is the system going to be to enable you to go through those hurdles of either European, U.S., or even state and local laws that have variants on how the privacy and facial recognition should work?
Yeah, that's the very big challenge so far. And in Korea, in European country, GDPR standpoint and privacy issue in United States, we were very struggling as of last year in Korea, but fortunately, the Korean government announced that new law, as long as we can use the very anonymous name with the face information without any photo, that will be okay to have sales and marketing. But in GDPR standpoint, I had the conversation with the lawyer in Sweden. He said we can submit our explanation, what is the different, why it's not a privacy issue through the GDPR committee using our existing documentation, then we can translate that one to submit the GDPR committee, the step by step. Maybe we can apply the same submission reflecting the GDPR approval or some temporary allowance. Then that's my strategy to overcome that GDPR or privacy issue at the moment. But the thing is, as I mentioned in the Vision 60 video, it is challenge. That's why it is very valuable. Otherwise, nobody can be interested. So because it's new, because it's challenging, that's why it's worthwhile.
Okay, guys, we have to finish the 5-minute Q&A session. That went by really quick, but we have to move on to the next pitch. All right, so everyone, please mute and close your video.
Thank you again, DH. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
The way that people shop is shifting from stores to online platforms, and the COVID-19 pandemic has accelerated this change. But people are missing out the excitement that comes with shopping and interacting with friends and store staff. Live commerce is the next stage in the evolution of shopping. It uses live streaming to put people back into stores where they can interact through live chats and purchase what they love. It's way more fun and exciting for customers than scrolling through an endless list of products. SourceFlex gives brands ranging from Korea's largest department store to new starting brands a complete toolkit to put live streaming on their own apps and websites right now. This is in line with the direct-to-customer trend that puts brands and their customers in direct interaction, cutting out the middleman. We are bringing back the joy of shopping. Thank you.
What will shopping look like in 5 years? If you want to see the future, look at China. Live commerce is a fast-growing trend and now makes up 20% of sales of China's biggest e-commerce platforms like Taobao. Live commerce combines live streaming, live chat, and e-commerce, providing their shopping experience to users and direct-to-customer channel for brands. But building and integrating a live commerce platform with video, chat, and sales capabilities takes around 1 year and costs over $2 million according to our own customers. Hi, I'm David Lee, CEO and founder of Mobidu, the company behind SourceFlex. SourceFlex allows retailers to integrate live commerce in weeks at a fraction of the cost. We offer everything that you need for live commerce, live stream commerce, from live encoding technology to live chatting. We offer at a very much lower cost with a monthly fee plus revenue share model. Since we launched in April, we've already picked up several of Korea's largest retail brands, and they're seeing incredible early results. Lots of D2C brands such as Lotte Department Store, Hyundai Department Store, retailers, manufacturers, and even telcos are using our solution for more interaction with customers and for more personalized services. Brands using SourceFlex are already streaming more than 50 live streams per day. So far, we've mostly focused on working with larger brands in Korea, But there is a global direct-to-customer trend, which is pushing brands away from platforms like Amazon and back onto their own apps and websites, where they can own their customer relationships. As our users grow, we are able to gather more data, which we can use to identify trends that will help retailers make better content. We are at the forefront of this trend, and from next year, we plan to expand our business into Southeast Asia and to the United States. Live commerce is erasing the border between offline stores and online shopping. It's putting the joy of exploring a new place and interacting with other shoppers back into shopping. And it's making online shopping a truly interactive experience. SourceFlex is the market-ready platform that's already helping brands to put live streaming onto their own apps and websites. We are interested in talking to brands about live commerce, as well as to investors who want to join us on our journey as part of our Series B round. Thank you.
All right, guys, you guys can go ahead and start the Q&A session.
I'm gonna lead this one off. Hey, David, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you.
So a quick question. I think we've got a good understanding of how this has resonated well in Asia.
Mhm.
How do you see the transition to North America and Europe?
Mhm.
And will it expand beyond apparel, which seems to be the obvious first category?
Yes, I think the D2C strategy is is being a huge trend in North America too. If you look at the case of Nike, Nike is leaving Amazon, and the D2C sales ratio has increased from 13.8% to.
The stakes in youth sports are incredibly high. Of course, sports teach teamwork and build character, but for talented students and athletes, sports can be a path to an academic scholarship at a top school or to a multi-million-dollar career. But assessing players isn't perfect. Here in Korea, there have been huge bribery scandals involving parents paying coaches to put their kids on the field, and also in the US, college scouts rely on their instincts as much as on real data. We're working to change this. Sports data analytics is incredibly powerful. It helps ensure that the best athletes get ahead, while also helping players and coaches make smarter decisions and achieve their full potential. We have developed the first affordable analytics platform for youth sports by combining the power of AI and the cloud for a brighter, fairer future in youth sports. Thank you.
I would like to begin by talking about two of my favorite movies, Moneyball with Brad Pitt and Concussion with Will Smith. Movies like Moneyball and Concussion introduce us to the hidden world of sports data analytics and the power it holds. At the professional level, sports data analytics has proven its ability to push teams toward championships and to uncover medical issues. So here are the problems we are facing. Sports data is so important for our kids' academic path as well as for their health, but very few youth teams can harness the power of sports data analytics. The expense is too high, and so is the amount of time required to manually record and enter play-by-play data takes too long. So we have a solution here. ION provides the affordable sports data analytics solution for anyone, including amateur and youth sports. Using our software, data can be collected automatically, and these digitized statistics will be kept on the cloud so that you can see and use them anytime, anywhere. Moreover, the service fits youth and amateur sports clubs and leagues budget, so anyone can play better and healthier with Ion Sports Data Platform. Hi, I'm Sang-Min Lee from Ion Communications, and let me give you a brief introduction of our company. Ion is leading CMS market in Korea and Japan with 21 years of experience and know-how in data management, and over 85% of total employees are developers, which means we are a tech-focused company. We are working with a renowned US sports agency, E&W, whose CEO, Don E, is known as Tom Brady's agent, and we're planning to set up a LA-based joint venture with them. But enough about us, so let's go back to our products and introduce you how it works. Instead of manually entering play data, all you have to do is just upload video file of the game. Our posture recognition technology analyzes each play and extracts the relevant information automatically. All of this goes into a cloud-based dashboard where coaches, parents, students, and scouts can get beautifully visualized reports. Our solution has several advantages for youth sports that go beyond just lowering the cost. First, you can use any of your camera, even a GoPro. There's nothing special to buy. We've optimized our technology and tuned the underlying algorithms specifically for youth sports, highlighting what's most important at that level and improving the accuracy. We help student athletes play safer by allowing them to share video and data with their family doctors. Our cloud-based approach means families can watch streaming videos of game at home. Everybody gets a seat on the 50-yard line. This is very important considering COVID-19. We consider $19.2 billion of US youth sports market and $3 billion of US high school and college football market with approximately 1 million football players at about 16,000 teams in US. And our go-to-market plan is to reach school teams in 3 states in the West Coast in year 1, and then another 10 states in the East Coast in year 2, and another 20 states in the Central region in the 3rd year. To achieve this, we are looking for $1 million for our spinning out sports tech startup for 12-month financing to reach out 100,000 high school football players on our sports data analytics service. Talking about competition, major players such as SAP, IBM, Oracle provide pricey solutions targeting professionals, but Ion on the right top side provides affordable solutions specifically to focus on youth and amateur sports market. Lastly, meet our team. We have CEO James O with 25 years of experience in data management, Jeff An, the Director of Sports Tech, who has a great network in the sports industry, and Bruce Sang-Min Lee, Head of International Business. Here I am. Ion is working with the motto Sports Tech for Everyone, and we hope our solution can contribute to democratization of sports tech so that anyone, including youth, can take advantage of sports data analytics for their high school and college path, as well as healthy sports lives. Thank you.
To remind everyone in the audience, you can change your setting from HD to LD, low bandwidth, as a setting that might improve everything for everyone. So yeah. And we're ready.
I'll go ahead and get started. Nice presentation, Bruce. Well done. The slides were very clear, and it was easy to follow. So, notwithstanding the technical difficulties, you did a nice job presenting.
Thank you so much.
The question I do have, though, is about your unit economics and the pricing. Could you go through that a little bit? I didn't pick that up from the presentation.
You mean the pricing model, revenue model, right?
Exactly. What would a family have to pay if they've got a youngster that they want to have access to the solution?
Right. So individual players will not be our clients. So school teams and association, league level will purchase this service, and then that will use this system for their players. So I'm not sure whether the schools will collect some money from the parents, but anyway, we will. Our clients will be school teams and associations, leagues.
Will you be selling to the coaches then? Is the idea you'll be selling to the coaches to convince them it's in their players' interest, or school districts?
Yes, and what the average price we thought about was $7 per player, and that's according to the research when what we did in LA 2 years ago. We met some high school football coaches and deans, and they helped us to get this report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So great job. As a former coach, love the idea. I think it's great. Explain to me again the health piece, how the injury analysis and medical piece goes. I wasn't real clear on how that works.
Right. So medical part is actually the physical data and the injury data will be kept on the cloud, and the hospitals and the doctors, the designated doctors, can access the data through our API. Of course, the players and parents should consent about that. So they can access the data, physical and injury data, and they can give the players proper diagnosis about for the better performance or the injury.
And a secondary question, you're talking about scouts using the tool, which I think is fantastic because I think it gives them a full view of the player that is got more markers on it than just gut feeling. Right. What's the pricing strategy for scouts?
Scouts is based on the number of reports, or monthly subscription, annual subscription is possible. This comes from the problem that many scouts fly back and forth to see the players in person, but actually that comes from the problem that they don't have enough objective data. So we can provide the data on the cloud, and they can access the reports, so they can pay monthly or annual based service.
Thank you. Great job, by the way.
Hey guys, we have run out of time. Sorry, we have to keep going because of the technical issues. So we're gonna have the Q&A session now reduced to about 3 minutes. But we're ready for the next pitch, so we'll get ready.
Most people hate going to the dentist. A big part of the reason is lots of discomfort and waiting. There's a digital dentistry revolution underway that will help dentists treat patients faster with less discomfort and fewer visits. But there's still one piece missing. Dentists can make digital scans of patient teeth, but making a dental prosthetic like a crown or an orthodontic device still takes a long time and requires highly manual process. I'm Youngjun Kim, the CEO of ImagoWorks. We are developing deep learning algorithms and putting them together in the cloud so that dentists can consult and treat patients in a single visit. What used to take much time can now be done in seconds. ImagoWorks brings together everything I've studied and built over my 20-year research career. I'm excited now to be bringing it to the world.
Most people hate going to the dentist. A big part of the reason is lots of discomforts and waiting for patients. Creating a dental prosthetic takes a long time with inefficient manual processes for dentists and dental lab technicians. Until now, impression taking and manufacturing the dental prosthetic require much time and effort for manual work. There is a digital revolution underway in dentistry. The patient can take impressions digitally using 3D intraoral scanner. After scanning, we provide computer-aided design solution based on AI, cloud, and modeling service. Finally, the designed model can be fabricated using computer-aided manufacturing, such as 3D printing or milling machines. These are our value propositions for dentists and dental labs by reducing cost, time, and with convenience. ImagoWorks has robust and fast computer-aided design solution for 3D scanning data from the intraoral scanner, and we have automated AI solutions for dental CT scan data. As you can see, this demonstrates our deep learning-based automated design approach. I'm going to show you again. This demonstrates our deep learning-based automated design processing method for dental 3D scan data. Oops, it doesn't work. Okay, so when you scan the tooth, the crown design can be automated by the deep learning algorithm. So in this way, the automated design of processes can be shortened within 1 hour. These are our business models: SaaS-based 3D dental modeling software, solutions for dental clinic and labs, and partnership with hardware manufacturers. We have a partnership with global dental manufacturing companies such as 3D scanner, CT scans, 3D printer, and implant, and etc. We are collaborating with dental universities, clinics, and labs. I have researched and developed 3D medical software for about 20 years. After studying at SNU and Stanford University, I have researched in 3D medical software for 10 years at KIST. I am so proud of my team members who are experts on CAD, AI, and cloud. We have researched together as one team at KIST for more than 5 years. ImagoWorks is an official KIST spin-off company. Last year, we got the first prize at a global challenge supported by Johnson & Johnson among 45 global applicants. For the first year, our revenue is about $0.8 million US, more than 100 users, and we've got $4 million US government funding. And we are running the Series A funding as a value of $20 million US. We are aiming to make people healthier and happier with the best 3D medical solution. Thank you very much.
Okay, we can start now.
Yeah, my feedback would be that a big strength of your presentation is your team, and you always want to lead with the strongest part of your presentation.
Thank you.
Because that's what's going to get people's interest more. So I would like to see you maybe rearrange your presentation a little bit, put the team up front, because the research that you've done, the work that you've done, your team is, to me, was where I really started to focus a lot more after I started to hear you talk about it.
Oh, thank you for the very good comment and suggestion.
So are you guys the only one doing this right now? Or how are you guys approaching this?
As far as I know, we are the only one who can create the computer-aided design software on the cloud.
Okay.
With AI solution,
right.
automated solution also.
Okay.
Quick comment. I really appreciate your approach to this, having gone through some significant dental work in the last couple of years. So good on you. It's exciting. Dentistry has historically been a slow mover. How do you break down those behavior changes amongst dentists?
This is very important question. Dentists are not willing to move or change, but they are the first movers among doctors and medical doctors, and they use dental products innovated by the technology. So CAD and CAM are the key issues in dentistry. So digital dentistry leads the medical new move and innovations.
Okay, guys, sorry, we have to move on to the next pitch. So we'll prepare the next one. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sujin Kim from Business Canvas. Microsoft Word first came out nearly 40 years ago, and still today, whether you're marketers, business developers, consultants, or students, it's a de facto tool that most of us use when we research and write reports. Even if you use Google Docs for collaboration, you're still using the print-centered interface Word made standard. Why are we still approaching document-based communication the same old way we did decades ago? With almost 30% of workers now employed in the information economy, there has to be a better solution, especially in the era of the new normal, right? After all, developers have their own collaboration tools, and so do designers. What about the rest of us? I'm Andy from Business Canvas. My team and I have a vision for a new document collaboration tool that will facilitate the entire documentation journey from research all the way to knowledge management. Just because we have a 40-year-old standard for documents, it doesn't have to be this way forever. Typed will set the new standard for the next 40 years to come.
Alright, hi all. Seems like we're having a pretty long day today. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it though. So my name is Andy, I'm the CEO of Business Canvas. We're developing Typed, your first all-in-one business document tool specifically built for business professionals that will entirely facilitate your entire documentation journey. COVID-19 is drastically changing the way we work. In the new normal represented by untagged or remote work, demand is surging not only in video conferencing but also document collaboration. Due to the increase of remote work, the importance of documentation will continue to grow in order to have more visibility in work. Also, you've probably heard the phrase, data drives us, but I say data drives us crazy. Our document work today requires us to find, integrate, and synthesize loads of data information like never before, but our existing tools are not really up to this challenge. So what's the problem? Come to think of it, software developers collaborate on tools such as GitHub, and designers work together on Figma or Zeppelin, but there's no such tool for business professionals currently in the market. We waste a lot of time in finding business templates or frameworks on Google, and we have to switch between many different tools in each step of document creation, from research on web browsers to actual document writing on MS Word. So without the right collaboration tool, the process is inevitably inefficient, and we're not ready to embrace this change efficiently. So that's why we're developing Typed. Typed is an all-in-one collaborative writing and research tool for the rest of us. By facilitating the day-to-day document work from research all the way to knowledge management, the routine work that have been done using many different tools can now be completed seamlessly on Typed. For Typed, in our early proof of concept test, we acquired over 1,000 pre-subscribers within only 3 days, representing over 60% of our site visitors. In fact, 48% also registered for our webinar and provided their personal details for further updates. Also, the market is the main driving force that will make a room for a brand new document standard like Typed. Since the COVID outbreak, the global collaboration SaaS market has been exploding. It is expected to hit more than $46 billion in 2026. And according to Forbes, as remote working spreads globally, 73% of companies see digital work as a key success factor. And the budget on SaaS is also expected to double next year. We'll be following a proven path to the market. We'll start with a freemium model that expands from individuals to startups and eventually large corporations. This model has led to success among Asana, Notion, Trello, and many others. Based on freemium subscription business model that has already been proved in the market, we aim for revenue of $10 million in 3 years. And last but not least, we're exactly the right team to bring this project to market. We have global experience in Europe, the United Kingdom, and the United States. In addition, our team members have entrepreneurial backgrounds, and we've worked together already for a year at our previous AI company, which has laid us a solid basis of teamwork. Most of all, our biggest strength lies in our power of execution. I know that what I'm trying to achieve is very ambitious, but we're well into development for our MVP and on track to launch in December. We've also closed a $300 million investment and recently got an interview offer from Y Combinator. We've done all of this within the past 3 months when we founded the company. So Microsoft Word has been a de facto document tool since 1983. How long can it maintain today's position in the rapidly changing digital workplace? Please look forward to Typed becoming a global document standout tool in the near future. If you're an investor and want to be part of the next SaaS unicorn, please get in touch anytime. Thank you.
Let's keep this to about 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, here we go.
I think it was a great pitch, very great enthusiasm, the most enthusiasm so far today.
Thank you.
I really appreciated that. I do think you could even turn it up a little bit and be even more enthusiastic than you were. There's still a little in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wish I could have seen the demo video. I think some of the slides had just too much text on it. That might be good for a reading deck, but for a pitching deck, you want to have much less text, I think, than you had. And yeah, great job.
I'll be working on it. Yeah, thank you for the advice.
I have to say, because of the technical problem. So can you tell me, maybe you said, so what is the USP? I mean, what is the unique position of your company where nobody else can touch you?
Yeah, it was very unfortunate I was not able to show you the demo video. It would be so clear because, like I mentioned several softwares like Notion, Microsoft Word, and Google Docs, but ultimately what we're trying to replace is not Notion, like rather Microsoft and Google Docs. So that being said, we're going to try to innovate the business documents. If you think of Notion, for example, they are, Microsoft Word. they still maintain the A4-centered, print-centered interface, since 1980s. But you know that the world is more and more becoming data-driven, and we need to use a lot of data sources, like not only web sources or local sources, but also like corporate.
Sorry, may I interrupt you?
Yeah.
This is all good. So, but if you can say sort of with one sentence, what is the difference between what you have and the rest of the world?
I think data, because when you think of when you use Microsoft Word, you do not really put all this data into the software. But when you use Type, you're gonna put a lot of resources, data, into our software. That will create the lock-in effect.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'll ask a quick follow-on there. Why not just have a plugin or an overlay rather than trying to replace Google Docs and Word? Why, if the idea is discovery and the data analytics, why not just build it as a plugin or a widget on what exists?
Oh, that's a fantastic question, because I was so surprised, because what we are doing exactly right now, we are in the hypothesis testing phase at the moment. So we are not developing our in-house own web editor. We're using Google Docs. That's exactly what we're doing right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, guys, that was the end of our Q&A. So thank you to Andy for coming. All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. And while I still have every one of you guys on the screen, that's the last pitch. So for people in the audience, just wait while we do this little judging session. It'll take about 3 minutes probably. So if everyone in the audience can just sit tight, the screen's going to go blank. Expect that. And the judges, we're going to go to the backstage in a second.
파워피티가 스타트업 분들에게 그들의 비전을 펼칠 수 있는 좀 멋진 무대를 한번 마련해 본 것이 포디움 스타인데요. 저희 무대를 통해서 여러분들의 비전, 또 유니콘을 향한 여러분들의 열정을 불태우시길 기대하겠습니다.
내 아이디어와 내가 하고자 하는 일이 이거다라고 좀 매력적으로 전달을 할 수 있는 어떤 스토리텔링이 굉장히 중요하거든요. 근데 그런 부분에 대해서 이야기를 나눌 수 있었던 시간이 있어서 굉장히 좋았던 것 같습니다.
방법을 조금 바꾸면 훨씬 더 전달력이 많아질까, 세팅으로 하면 더 효과적이기도 하고 전략적으로 조금 더 도움이 되시지 않을까 싶은 생각이 들었습니다.
Just being part of this community, hearing from the participants, listening to their venture ideas and their passion for their business. There's so much I've learned from today's session. So I thought it was just very well organized event, and I had a lot of fun participating and providing my views and feedback as well.
열정적이시고 에너지가 높고 정말 어텐션이
회사의 수익성이나 비즈니스 모델에 대해서는 피치할 때 당연히 준비해야 되는 부분인 것 같고, 어떻게 투자자들에게 전달이 잘 될지 그 부분은 또 소프트 스킬이 굉장히 중요한 것 같습니다. 그래서 많은 스타트업들이 앞으로 있을 포디움 스타 이벤트에 많이 참여해 주시고 오늘 참여한 이런 심사위원들과 같은 전문가들에게 또 많은 조언을 받을 수 있는 그런 시간을 많이 가졌으면 좋겠습니다.
We're always looking for the next greatest startups. So if you're ready to take your startup to the next level, come join us here at Podium Star. Apply now, let us coach you and work with you on your pitch so you can get that next investment or get to that next level to take you to becoming a unicorn. So we have the results of the winner. Imagine that we're having a really great drum roll right now because I can't give one to you. So the winner of Podium Star SaaS version, who's going to join the World Innovations Forum Network, is MobiDo. MobiDo, thank you very much.
So
great
much.
job.
Yes,
all right,
so
here
much.
is your first place winner.
Wow.
All right, so Moby-Do is the winner. David Lee, would you like to say a few comments about your participation?
Yes. Thank you so much for giving us this great prize. I definitely didn't expect this, and I'm excited to share this with my teammates. And thank you all. Thank all of the judges, and I'd like to give this opportunity to go global as soon as possible. Yeah.
Great. One more time, congratulations. And for everyone else in the audience, all the startups did a great job. We're sorry for any technical issues we had. Just to let you know, our next Podium Star, which will be much better, will be November 26th. We'll post that on LinkedIn and other media channels. That will be focused on mobility. So startup, Podium Star for mobility, November 26th. If you guys want to do networking, you just click the button that says Start Speed Networking, and you can be randomly matched with someone for a 5-minute network session. So thank you from all of us here at Podium Star. Good night.